Hi guys! In today's video we're going to be learning how to do a proper plank. You see planks done all the time and sometimes they look very different from one another. The main part of a plank is holding the core stable. So those core muscles, the ones that protect us from injury, the ones that help us lift heavy objects and maintain our form during heavy lifts and things like that, those muscles are actually endurance muscles. They're not moving muscles. So sit-ups and pike-ups and exercises like that can sometimes hinder your ability to maintain a stable core because those little muscles just don't turn on when you're doing those big motions. So it's okay to do more dynamic core exercises, but it's important to have that foundation and the positioning correct before you go to that level. So we're going to be starting our plank on our back and working to our knees and then working all the way up into a full plank. Learning how to activate and turn on those stability and deep core muscles is really important in doing other dynamic exercises, other core exercises, and it's going to help you feel those low belly and core muscles a lot more. They're going to feel a lot more tired after a workout, a core workout, than if you just were not turning them on. So hope you guys enjoy this workout. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if you tried it and it helped. So all right guys, let's do it. We're going to be starting on our backs, so rolling down, finding your feet nice and flat on the ground, and we're going to start by just relaxing our lower backs. So most people are going to have a little bit of a gap underneath that low back. So what we're going to do is we're just going to flatten that low back and relax. Flatten that low back, drawing those low belly muscles in. Try to avoid using your glutes very much when doing this and try to let those low belly muscles kick on. So this is just the most basic level of turning on those deep core muscles like the transverse abdominis, the pelvic floor, and the multifidus. And we're just gonna get comfortable with this motion. If you can see what my back is doing here. And then we're gonna level it up a little bit. So I like to place my hands behind my head and we're just going to draw your chest up so that your low back is drawing in, your low belly's tight, and then we're going to come down. So we're not necessarily doing a sit-up, but we're just coming up and you're just working to keep that low back flat and keeping your spine nice and neutral here. Keeping that pelvis rolled under in a sense, so that we're never creating that little arch underneath your low back. These muscles do not need a lot of intensity when you're working them because their job is to just maintain that stable neutral spine, and they're made for endurance, so they're built for working them every single day. You can work these muscles every single day. They are made for that. Okay, once you've got that down, you feel pretty comfortable with that, we're going to make our way onto our hands and knees. So from this position, just finding a very relaxed spine to start. There's going to be a little bit of sway in your low back, and we're just going to flatten that and tighten your low belly. So go from just your relaxed position, this is a relaxed low spine, and then drawing those pelvic low belly muscles in and rolling your pelvis under just a little bit. And it's not a full cat because I'm not doing anything with my upper back so much. We're just working those low belly muscles, trying to draw your belly button kind of away from the floor and coming back down. This may sound a little bit weird, but it's the same kind of muscles that you would use, or at least they're right connected with those same muscles that you would use if you were trying to make it to the bathroom and you really had to pee. So it sounds weird, but if you kind of can clench those muscles at the same time and really touch in on those low belly and pelvic floor muscles that are good trunk stabilizers. So once you've gotten this down, mastered this part of it, we're going to go into a plank. I like to start all the way down on my stomach. So from here, we're just going to press up. Maybe let's start on our elbows. That's usually a little bit simpler. So starting from your elbows, you're going to press up to the point where your hips and your shoulders are level. And then you're really gonna engage that muscle that we've been practicing and kind of bring your hips down a little bit, but without losing that tuck in your pelvis and the low belly drawing up and in that we've been practicing. And then we're gonna go back to kind of a relaxed position. You're gonna roll forward again, keeping that kind of arch, like your low back is kind of a dome. You wanna keep it concave on the underside, convex on the top side of your back. So we're just gonna kind of go back and forth. You can practice this up in a full plank. Same kind of thing applies. My low back, there's a pretty straight line between my head and my hips, but we're keeping that, instead of being in this position, we are rolled under and nice and tight. Once you've got this tuck down, and it may be enough for you to stay on your knees and tuck if you are really squeezing that low belly and drawing it in. I mean, even someone with a very strong core can get pretty shaky just in this position, with really focusing on squeezing those lower abdominal and core stabilizer muscles. So from this position, I like to actually go from the kneeling plank into a full plank. So you're gonna maintain that exact form with your low back, and you're just gonna lift your knees. So you can see my hips are a little higher than standard planks that you see. You see a lot of people doing planks like this, and this is not a good plank. This is a plank where my pressure is all in my low back and I'm really not feeling it in my core a whole lot. So you need to lift and draw that pelvis under. Even exaggerate it a little bit if you are feeling it in your low back. One good rule of thumb is if you're getting kind of tired and you feel that yourself losing that core stability, instead of dropping down like this, you're gonna lift your hips up kind of in like a tent. So tent rather than collapse. And if you're still having trouble not collapsing when you're lifting your hips higher, just come down. There's no shame in resting and making sure your form is good and building up that strength. And it will come. Those muscles are strong. Everybody has them. No matter if you feel like you do or not, you can make these muscles stronger. So try that with just a static plank. Don't do anything fancy at first. If you're trying to build up these muscles and learn how to use them, start on your back, move to your knees, move to a plank on your knees, and then move to a full plank. And this same rule applies during a side plank. There's going to be a little bit of that rolling of the pelvis under. It's a little more complicated in a side plank because there's more shoulders and things like that involved. So let's go over that as well, just so when you're ready, you can move on to that. So we're going to start on our elbow and our knees. You want to have, there's going to be a little bit of a curve in your body, and you're going to start that core contraction before you lift up. So pushing through, I like to actually put my palm down, so I have weight through my hand all the way to my elbow, and I'm not just putting weight straight through my elbow on this side. So you're gonna lift up, you're gonna be pretty much in a straight line by the time you get here, but that low belly is drawing under just slightly. You can raise your arm up, or you can keep your arm kind of forward. If you're struggling to feel this in your core and would like a little bit more stability in the shoulder, it's a good thing to kind of roll your front shoulder forward a little bit, and that can really help you pull that low belly and those stability muscles in. So this is one thing with a side plank. You have to be real careful with this shoulder. Make sure that your shoulder is always directly above your elbow. You don't want that elbow clear out here, because that's going to put a lot of unwanted force on your shoulder joint, and shoulders don't need any more force than they already get. So moving on to a full plank, extending your legs out. You can help yourself get up, or you can push straight up, but engaging that core before you lift, so we're staying stable throughout that whole time. You're gonna lift your hips. My shoulder's a little bit far away on that one, so I'm gonna fix it. Keeping it down, that shoulder rolled forward just a little bit so you can be nice and tight in that plank. You're driving the ground away with this forearm and the hip, so you're gonna feel it all on that lower side of your abs, keeping your core nice and tight here. And you can add on to that, make it more dynamic if you would like. But those are just some kind of foundational ways to build the strength of your plank. Stay in each stage as long as you need to. Alright guys, I hope you found this video helpful and enjoyed it, learned something new about doing a plank and engaging your core. If you have any questions, just send me a message or comment down in the comment section. I'm going to be doing some kind of follow-up exercise workouts geared around a strong core and maintaining these stability core muscles during more dynamic and functional core exercises. I'm going to be doing a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced level of those exercises, so keep an eye out for those. If you're new here, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell. Till next time, guys!